I've known for some time that it's over, and I have to tell her. But it's never the right time. She's having trouble at work. Her mum's been taken ill, and the landlord wants possession. Nonetheless, I have to tell her. We arranged to meet, and the first thing she says when she sees me is, "God, but I love you." Why, she must have asked, did I just turn and stare in icy silence? But tell me, what was I to say or do? What can one say or do when a love affair is over? A little look at a lyric, and also the song, and it's How Insensitive, which was written by Antônio Carlos Jobim, with the English words by Norman Gimbel. Apparently the original words, which I'd like to get a translation of, I wonder if they're the same, was Vinícius de Moraes, M-O-R-A-E-S. Anyway, this is Jobim and the English words by Norman Gimbel. Well, let me just go through it first. I must say, actually, I've got a printout here of the actual music, which is quite reliable. Unfortunately, when I sang it, there are some niceties, just little changes in the lyrics which I wasn't aware of, which I think are rather nice. So I'll point those out later. I'm afraid I didn't do them in my version, so that I've learnt my lesson, which I always tell students as well. Try to get the sheet music if you can, though not so easy these days. Anyway, the original lyric, "How insensitive I must have seemed when she told me that she loved me. How unmoved and cold I must have seemed when she told me so sincerely. Why, she must have asked, did I just turn and stare in icy silence? What was I to say? What can you say when a love affair is over?" Now she's gone away, and I'm alone with the memory of her last look. Vague, drawn and sad, I see it still, all her heartbreak in that last look. How, she must have asked, could I just turn and stare in icy silence? What was I to do? What can one do when a love affair is over? Woo! A lyric most poignant. The bits that are nice, I think, going through it, and which I don't think I did necessarily, is the first time it says, "Why," she must have asked, "did I just turn and stare?" Second time through, it says, "How," she must have asked, "could I just turn and stare?" And then at the end, it says, "What was I to say?" the first time. What can one say when a love affair is over? Second time through, it says, "What was I to do?" What can one do when a love affair is over? Which I think is nice to have those slight changes in there. And I apologise for not realising that at the time. Anyway, what a lyric, seems to me. Short and precise. Maybe we've been there. Maybe we've been wanting to end a relationship, realised that's it. It's not easy to find the right time, is it? It's like, all right, we're going to meet up, and I'm going to say this evening. But then the cat's just died, or something else has happened. Then the next time, something else happened. You say, I can't do that now. I can't say it now. So it's never the right time. So in this scenario, for me, it's the time has come. You've arranged to meet because you know you're going to tell her or him that it's over. And you meet, and she turns to you and says, "I love you." Next door. I mean, what can you say? What can you do? So it's the exasperation of the helplessness, if you like, of that situation. So with that understanding, then one more time, if I may, before we get on to the melody and the chords. How insensitive I must have seemed when she told me that she loved me. How unmoved and cold I must have seemed when she told me so sincerely. Why, she must have asked, did I just turn and stare in icy silence? What was I to say? What can you say when a love affair is over? Now she's gone away, and I'm alone with the memory of her last look, vague, drawn and sad. I see it still, all her heartbreak in that last look. How, she must have asked, could I just turn and stare in icy silence? What was I to do? What can one do when a love affair is over? That's the lyric. The melody. Very chromatic. And weaves its way, it seems to me. Not a huge range on it, just weaves its way telling this story. Nice. I think it fits the song very well. It doesn't get in the way, it just weaves its way and kind of makes it a little bit bitter to me. Chords then here, these are off the sheet, and I noticed there are some differences. No big deal at all, as far as I can see. I'll go through the ones I did and see if they're any different from the sheet. So I've got this. Same so far. This one hasn't got the 6, but the ones I used did have the 6, because that's in the melody. This one's got G7 over B, the ones I used. The one here doesn't, just has the G7, but I quite like having it over B. These I've got the sharpened 11 on the E flat major 7, which I like. I think it kind of goes with the song. I think we're the same so far. Is there a change here towards the very end? I think there might be. The ones I've got here, just a slight change of the chords at the end here. Instead of so really nothing that makes any change, it's just whatever you prefer. You might swap them one time through and do them differently the next time through, just to ring the changes a bit. Well, yeah, I think excellent song, very haunting.